Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CPtechnicraft Live. Today, I'm going to take a break from the norm, and I'm going to go and maybe, hold on, I've got something going on in the background here. Stop talking to me. There we go. And I'm just going to go gather some sand. I need lots of sand, so I'm going to take lots of empty shulker boxes with me, and I'm going to go get some sand. Now, if I remember correctly, somewhere in about that direction, I had a nice little area that I was working on before, and I'm going to go and I'm going to try and clean a house. May not be the most exciting episode, but, it's part of how it goes. And I'm probably going to need my shovel. And I'll take it out when I get there. I'm pretty sure I've got an ender chest over that way. There's my raid farm. And one of my kelp farms. There's a couple of them. Yeah, look at that. Oh, this looks like a fun place to start. I don't have an ender chest around here because I don't even remember this place existing. So we're just going to drop a few torches around to try and help. Who knows? I'm still going to get blown up at least once by creeper. I mean, there's just no way around that. It is my lot in life, as is most of us who craft. Creepers don't like us. They are the bane of existence. I'm just a cow. Alright. Oh no, I don't want that. I wanted my ender chest. Woohoo! Sand! I know. Such a thankless task. But I do so much with glass. It's not even funny. And as you saw, that my big tower back there, it's just about as much glass as it is deep slate tile. Alright. And I don't know, I feel like I might have been, I have been, there's my other ender chest. This is the same place, I feel like it's different. Interesting. Oh well. Now I got two ender chests out. This way. Oh, you know what I do want to do? Is I make that mistake. Forget to switch that out and then I get beat up. Why? What? Oh, I don't know where my... Oh, I bet I do. Oh well. I'll suffer for now. Did it have falling on him at least? No, of course it doesn't. That's a problem for me. That was probably when I was going over and clearing out Ninja Ace's old, let's say pseudo base, because he never actually built a full base because I just kept building stuff around him and he just used what I built. But he still has not come back, and so I talked to him the other day and I told him that I have plans for the area where his base is, and if he doesn't care, I'm going to go ahead and just throw all of the stuff that he's got into the main storage system, and whatever he wants, he knows he can take it anyways. And if not, well, it's there. I love that sound. You pick up just a ton of stuff all at once. And there's the limit. think I hurt my brain at work. Yesterday, I got home. I was going to try and stream, but I got a message from my wife saying that the furnace maintenance guy was coming by to do a PM, preventative maintenance, which meant he was going to need access into the crawl space under the house. So, being the nice guy I am, I went, cleared everything out of the way so it was easy enough for him to get to. And then I went down in the crawl space and made sure that we didn't have anything you know, around the furnace at all, which the only thing that actually was when we stuck the Christmas tree under there after Christmas. And wouldn't you know it, in a stroke of miracle genius, I managed to hit myself in the face with part of that Christmas tree and actually bloodied the bridge of my nose. Like, I didn't realize, I mean, I felt the whack and it hit my glasses. And I was like, ow, that hurt. And then I kind of just ignored it because it didn't even give me that, like you've been hit in the nose kind of tingle or anything like that. It just thudded. So I figured, oh, I just smashed my glasses into my face and it hurts a little bit. No big deal. I come out of the crawl space and Grandma's in the kitchen and she looks at me. She's got a horrified look on her face. She's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She's like, "You're bleeding." And sure as crap, I turn around and I look, and I got blood pouring down my face. And at that exact same moment, there's a knock on the door, and it's the furnace guy. And without hesitating, I answer that door, face bleeding and all. I wonder what that poor guy was thinking. Oh boy! And then today, I smashed my knuckle at work through another stroke of genius, and it hurts. Not gonna lie, I smashed it on a rack. I'm just talented, I guess. Normally, I'm not very klutzy, but apparently the last couple of days have been my klutz moments. My sisters would revel in that. They would love to pick on me because they were the klutzes when we were growing up. And I used to tease them endlessly about it. And now they could tease me about being a klutz. I'm just glad I have my glasses on. I'm pretty sure that my glasses are what saved me. But other than that, my life is pretty normal, pretty good. I got no real complaints. I mean, I would, but I think they'd be pointless. And let's see if there's anything new and exciting going on. No, that's about it. I got 1,000 projects that I want to work on. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time. Uh-oh. Okay, now we're getting to dicier territory. Now I gotta start paying attention. The sun's going down. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap that around. And I'm just gonna make some more torches. I don't wanna die. I want to live. Yeah, I go torch crazy sometimes. I don't care. I hate creepers. Zombies don't bother me that much. Skeletons, yeah, I think they annoy me more than they bother me. Like, I don't like getting shot in the back. Not a fan. And they tend to do that to me all the time. Alright, I'm a little safer. Yay for glasses, darn right. And it didn't even scratch the glasses because that was like my first concern. As silly as it sounds, my first thought is, oh man, I hope it didn't gouge my glasses. Fortunately, it didn't do that. It hit the inside, like the nose bridge on the glasses, and which kind of deflected it across my nose. It's the oddest thing because it's an artificial tree. I think it's 3 pieces total, and it was just one of the middle sections popped out. And when it popped out, the way I was pulling it, I guess I had the tension aimed at my face, and it came just before I even realized what was going on. Bam! Hit me right in the eye. Thank, thank the Lord for the glasses, though. That's all I could say. Cause yeah, that's the last thing I need is to go blind. Or I can just imagine the comments and smart axery that me having one eye would draw. And I'm not saying that I, in any way, shape, or form, would ever draw any sarcasm or smartassery out of people. But you know, I also am not saying I don't. My wife will tell you I am a eternal smartass. If you give me the option or the opportunity, I would probably take it. It's kind of like an open door invitation with me. I can't help myself. Question is how much sand do I need? Because I'm thinking I'm just gonna just go until I get annoyed. Because that's almost a shulker box full now. Oh, we're coming up on the fun part. All that sand's gonna collapse right there, just the right piece. And we all know that's fun as long as you're not standing on top of it. It's fun to watch that collapse happen. Or at least it is for me. I know it is for you guys too, whether you admit it or not. I absolutely, I hate creepers. I have all kinds of little toy creepers, and I've got little cups with creepers on them. I've got a creeper that's half skeleton, half creeper. So you can see the TNT inside of him. It's a little, I don't know, 8, 10 inch tall little figurine. Creepers are just the worst, but I remind myself daily about them by surrounding myself with little images of them. I got my 7-year-old stepson. I got him a little battery-powered creeper lamp for his nightlight. He has no idea the irony behind that. Can you imagine if I put up a beacon over here with like haste on it? How crazy fast this would go. I mean, it's already like I feel like I would waste more time just setting up a beacon than I would just go ahead and doing it like this. And I know I need to go over to that box and fill it up, but let me give it a second. I want to get through this little strip here. Do 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 do. Beep beep beep. Boop, boop. I love that sound. Well, hi, Mr. Wandering Trader. You came over here because it's all lit up, huh? You know what's good. That's the other thing for any of you who may not realize it. I guess it's only like this in Bedrock, but if you get to the edge of your ability to hit the block and actually damage it, you will go faster. It'll mine faster. The closer you get to it, the slower it goes. In motion, it's pretty good, but you notice it more when it's things that actually take more than one quick whack at it. You'll see it like with the deep slate down low, and I'm building my tunnels. I stay at a distance and I only take out one row at a time. just because it actually does go faster. I don't know what the mechanic is, why it's that way, but it is that way. Oh, it's not going to collapse. Now I'm just sad. I was super duper hoping that I would watch like all the sand drop down into that valley on the other side, but it's all sandstone over here. Boo. Which reminds me, while I'm here, I need to get at least a stack of that sandstone for the sorting system, just so it's in there, because I don't know that I have any, but I'll bet when I get into putting Ninja's stuff in there that I'm gonna run into sandstone. Someday I'll actually use sandstone for something. I can't really think of a build that I've used that I use sandstone in. And now that I think about it, I don't know why. I'm gonna have to change that. Yeah. You want to know another thing that it just dawned on me the other day? My wife and I were talking about the little one, because he's just like smart as a whip, and he's walking like crazy now. He just started walking like 2, 3 weeks ago, and now he's to the point where he thinks he's invincible and he can walk anywhere and climb on anything, and he's just trying to run. I'm telling you, there's nothing funnier than a 1-year-old who's just learned to walk trying to run. Oh heavens, that kid has no idea how much enjoyment he gives me just by his existence. But we were talking about the fact that, we probably got to get shoes for him now. Now he's not being carried everywhere. He wants to walk. We got to get him some shoes. And I'm like, it's so hard to actually size their first shoes that they're going to use for walking, because he's never had shoes, so he doesn't even know the sensation of them on his feet yet. And then we got to try and find something that's going to be comfortable for him. And it's not obviously the end of the world or anything like that. It's just like one of those, well, how's that going to work? Because he's at that phase where pulling off his socks is the in thing. Oh, you want me to wear these? Ha ha ha. We'll see about that. And he's pretty clear if he doesn't want to do something, he has no problem letting you know. He'll do it if you make him, but he will protest. So I'm not sure how he's going to do with shoes, because socks are an affront to his barefootedness. And he must have gotten that from his mom, because he sure didn't get that from me. I wear socks endlessly. I can't think of life without socks. Cold feet's the worst. Out of end stone. I don't. My my oldest is going to be 27 in April, and she was just the easiest kid. Um, she had some health issues when she was young, but she was real young, and we got through those. But aside from that, as far as behavior and attitude, man, she was awesome. She didn't become a pain in my butt until she hit 14, 15. And, you know, and then he's just a jerk. Dad has rules and boundaries. Dad's no good. Uh, but, that's pretty typical. And as far as psychos go, well, that's my stepkids. I mean, my son was a little psycho, but he was autistic. Well, is autistic. My older son. Um, I mean, nowadays you pretty much wouldn't tell. But my girl's 2 young ones. Oh, my heavens. Especially the older of the two. He's going to be 7 in March. He's a peach. If it came to psychos, I would definitely say, yeah, I'd take a 2-year-old's psycho over a 7-year-old psycho. He is kind of reminds me of, maybe not quite the same scale, but have you ever seen those videos on YouTube or wherever where a parent dares to take a kid's Xbox or something away from them? Yeah, that's how he is with everything. It doesn't matter. It could be chocolate milk. If you tell him he can't have chocolate milk for whatever reason, he's gonna literally go psycho, throw himself all over his bed, and just have a straight hissy fit for, I don't know. Used to be for hours he could do that stuff because I think it worked before I came around. But I'm a different type of cowboy. I'm kind of a, the rules are the rules, and if your mother speaks, you better listen to her. If not, I'm gonna come in there and talk to you. And they don't like that. But yeah, kids. I love kids, but I also think that they're a plague on humanity. Not really, but really. It's when they grow up. That's when I like them the best. I know, like with my older son, I think by the time he was about 8 or 9 was when I think he and I had the most fun because I could actually have conversations with him. Obviously not about like nuclear physics or calculus or something like that, but we could have legitimate, real life discussions. And I loved getting his perspective on things. To me, that was always very entertaining to see how their young minds work and what they use as far as you know their logic and reasoning and all that. I'm always entertained by it because sometimes kids will say some things to me and then I'm like, wow, that's amazingly astute of you. And there's other times where I'm like, yeah, come back and talk to me in a couple of years when your brain is turned on. Fortunately, I don't think it's all that bad most of the time for most kids. There's just a few out there that I don't know what it is that catches their fancy and gives them goals, drives, and passion in life, but it certainly isn't an education. That's what I worry about with this little one now, Jeremiah. He, I don't know, I just get the impression he's just a bit too smart for my liking. He's gonna be that kid like little Sheldon or something like that. He's gonna make me feel stupid by the time he's 10. You can tell, I mean, since he was a baby, he was always very aware and alert. He always wanted to know whatever was going on in the room. He had to be a part of it. Wow, I filled up another one already, huh? Yeah, I'll be moving right along. That's a lot of glass. So let's see, you can go back in there. I still don't feel like I've got enough though. Every time I come here and I get glass, I get sand. I always leave thinking, man, I got plenty. And then once I'm all done and everything's broken down, I'm like, man, I still need more. Yeah, Jeremiah would be. All three of yours are? Yeah, we think that our middle one here, um, my younger stepson, we think that he he might be on the spectrum. It's hard to say because he's 4. He's not nonverbal. He's got bad verbal skills, but you know we're around him enough. We fully understand most of the time what he's saying, and sometimes it's little quirks like he can say the sound ba, it sounds with B and what have you, but he cannot add them to a word without screwing it up. Like if he wants strawberries, he won't ask for strawberries. He'll ask for strawberries. And if he burps, it's not a burp, it's a galurp. But he can say buh, and he can say erp. But if he puts those together, it comes out glurp. it's the weirdest kind of thing. But we've, obviously over time learned to kind of understand his speech. My older son, he was nonverbal. He was, I think, 4.5 before we got sign language really to start settling in, and him start using things like milk and more, and please and stuff like that. Um, I think he used sign language for only a couple months, and then he said his first words, and it was like an explosion. As soon as he started talking, the kid became a veritable chatterbox. He didn't stop talking. He just went on and on and on about everything he could think of. So that was kind of cool, so it went from at one point begging, pleading, please just say anything other than screaming, grunting, and pointing at everything. And then it turned into, a year later, I'm like, please shut up. Just anything. Just stop talking. Now he's 18. He's going to be 19 this summer, or at the end of summer. I still can't believe I've got a 1-year-old and a 27-year-old. My entire family thinks I'm absolutely nuts. They probably are. They're probably right. But I never claimed to not be nuts. I think I need to go retrieve something. Whoops. Nope, I want that. You can have that. I gotta watch. I'm getting low. Yeah, my oldest son, he, once he started talking, he had little issues, and we had him in speech therapy for a while, and he pretty much worked his way out of them all. Now the only problem we have is, and it's not really a problem as much as he hasn't found a proper focus for it, because he can be like me. He can get very dedicated into something and hyper focus on it until he either solves the problem or comes up with some kind of a workaround or something like that. The biggest issue he has is that none of the things that he puts his effort into kind of are leading him anywhere. Um, like, he's a huge comic book nerd, but he doesn't draw, he doesn't write, he doesn't do anything other than just read and memorize the stories and the characters and what have you in the comics. And it's like, okay, well, what do you want to do in life? I don't know. Okay, well, I mean, he works. He's got a job. He does. I want to say it's housekeeping, I think, is the official title at like a lodge slash resort near where him and his, he lives with his mom. But yeah, he's got no aspirations to do anything other than. So that's unfortunate, because he's got a heck of a mind on his shoulders. He's just not yet ready to use it for any good purpose other than, you know, playing games and reading comic books. But he works, he pays whatever his rent and everything are, so I mean that's on him. I know he's capable of more, but if he's happy in life, then I guess that's all I really care about. Putts. Well, that's what I was talking. Wait, what's this? The lack of F's you give. I know, I know. The sad thing is, I I actually don't understand what the heck Roblox is, because when I look at it, I'm like, okay, it just looks like Minecraft, like a mod. Is it a separate game? Is it just a mod for the game? I don't understand it at all. And I honestly don't care either, too, so I get it completely. And I am going to get jumped if I am not. Where? I feel like something is very wrong because I'm not seeing any mobs, like anywhere. I don't. I just don't see them, and I feel like I should be dead or at least fighting them off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check server settings, I think. But I don't even care at this point. I'll check them when I'm done. Yeah, that's the hotel manager. Well, that's nice. Um, I explained that to my wife, which because she's like, well, what is he planning on doing? He's not gonna house clean or housekeep forever, is he? I'm like, well, I don't know, but he's been there for a few years now. Because he got the job initially through a work program at school, and I guess he was just a good enough worker, and they liked him that they kept him on afterwards as their employee, not through the school program. And now he's an adult, and he still works there. And I mean, that's the way I see it. Eventually, you'll have enough time in where opportunities will arise, and if I told him if you play your cards right, you learn a little bit here and there about other people's jobs. The opportunity to advance might present itself one day, and you'll be in a good position to take advantage of that. So it could lead to a career for him. He doesn't have like I have. I come from like all of the men in my side of the family have all been engineers. My grandfather was a mechanical engineer. My dad is an electronics engineer. Um, I went for my electronics engineering degree, but I had issues at that point in time. That was when my daughter was young, and we ended up running into a lot of financial issues as a result of she was afflicted by what they call pulmonary hemosiderosis. It's called the bleeding lung, is really what it means. Um, it was from a mold that was actually growing in her grandparents' house, and it got into her lungs, and it actually caused them to spontaneously start bleeding. And she was at the time the 11th confirmed case in the world. I don't think she's the 11th person in the world to ever have suffered from it, but actually documented medically, by the researchers at Case Western Reserve. Um, she was their 11th official case, and so we went through all kinds of nonsense for a while, and that came right around the same time I was going to school, and eventually the costs associated with things, we ended up having to move. So my ex-wife and I bought a house way earlier than we had planned to, which put us into a bit of a financial strain. I ended up having to drop out, and unfortunately I never got around to getting back into it. But my son, he does not have that kind of desire. He's not really much of a fix-it kind of guy, or a problem solver in that sense. He's smart enough to. He just has no desire for it. That's pretty much where it lies. Um, my daughter, I don't even know how to describe that girl. She's smart as a whip, but she just does not want to stick with any particular pathway, and she doesn't want to go to school. So it's like, well, you're limiting your options with those possibilities there. But she's a good kid. She'll figure it out. Yeah, both my kids do. Like my daughter, when um, she moved out with a boyfriend, and that didn't work. So she threw his butt out and then she went and got a second job, and she was working and pretty much has been working 2 jobs now for, I don't know, the last 3 years to make sure that she can keep her apartment up and what have you. Um, so I can't complain at that. Um, she gets that, I think, from both her mother and I. Both of us are not necessarily workaholics, but I do my job and I take my job serious, and I do, I try to perform at my top all the time because to me it's a reflection on me and who I am and what I stand for. So I can't have people thinking I'm a lazy do nothing bum. You got to know me long enough to know that about me. But yeah, I got lucky. Both my kids are good kids. They're smart kids. They're respectful. They recognize and respect boundaries that people have. I can't complain. And they did it all with in spite of me being their dad. Mind blowing. The uphill battle those poor kids had. All right, I'm gonna break my shovel if I'm not paying attention. Oh, I just guessed that and got it. Sweet. So I think that's got to be about enough sand. Um, yeah, as far as scary goes, yeah. Um, it, but gotta put the elytra back on. Don't fly too well with chess pieces. Um, it was definitely different. I mean, I was a lot younger. I was like, it was 97. She was born in April, and this was probably about July, August of 97. So, that was a long time ago. And I was a kid. I was like 22, almost 23. So yeah, I didn't know what to do. I was first time parent. My daughter was 2 months old. And next thing I know, we're spending half our lives at Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital here in Cleveland, um, with doctors telling us, well, we don't really know much of anything about anything. All we can do is keep an eye on her and hope that nothing bad happens. That was not very heartening. Oh no. Oh no. That is not a good sign. The fact that I did not find those in there. If they're not over here, I am going to admit absolute defeat and say that chances are what happened is I threw them in a furnace. Yeah, that's right. If they're not in the overflow of this system, that means I threw them in a furnace. I see no boots there. Oh, oh. I see a helmet. Oh no. Check these hoppers back here. See, this is all I did. If you see, it's exactly the same from these overflow versus that. All I gotta do is add that piece onto the back of this one and then just carbon copy that one over here and boom. Easy peasy. Let's see. They're not there. It's not there. No. No, no. I did. I killed a pair of netherite boots. I don't know if those will go through the furnace or not. I've never tried to put netherite in a furnace. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I doubt that I managed to put them in there. I'm gonna. I don't know how that happened, but dang the heavens that it did. That would have made me cry. Get out of here. No, what the? What the? Oh, come on. I've never used cursive binding. Well then, I'm just going to stick these in there and figure out what I got to do. A nursery teacher, huh? That sounds kind of cool. It's a commendable profession. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Kids are tough because you want the best for them, but you also want them to live life to some degree on their own terms. Sometimes that means you got to sit back and watch them do things or make choices or be a certain way that there's not much you can actually do about. It's, yeah, it's not every magical mystery wonder that some people seem to think being a parent is. Being a parent can be an amazing and is an amazing thing, but it can still be a heart-wrenching storm of insanity. So, do you know anything about the curse of binding? I've never used it, really explored it at all, but I feel now I have no option but to figure it out because I apparently have boots on. I don't know if they're. I know nothing about it. Oh yeah, Dur. All right, let's see. Sand, sand, and sand. That was all the sand, right? Yeah. What time is it? Oh, it, so I gotta dive. Yeah, that's what I thought. Dag nabbit. I mean, that's easy enough for me to do. All I gotta do is take my gear off and fall off of something. I'd probably do by accident because I have that skills. I am a faller, hands down, unequivocally. I fall all the time. That's why you noticed the first thing I checked was, well, does it have feather falling on it? No. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Because I don't know if you've caught in my live streams before, but I will drop off of just about anything. I mean, I've almost always got my elytra on, except for when I leave the safety of my compound. Man, I was thrown off by that. I mean, at least I didn't lose the item, because that would have been bad. That would have made me cry. So my actual boots are still fine and safe, so I don't feel as bad. It wasn't as bad as my helmet. When my helmet broke, I was so upset. I was like, dude, why would you let that happen? You know better. Apparently I don't, but I like to think sometimes I do. And off to the races. Yeah, and this is another one of those things that's going to make me actually do some reworking. Is the furnace runs amazing. The problem I have is loading. I've got two separate hoppers that'll feed it when it comes by, but I feel like I need a bank of like 30 of them. Because no matter how many hoppers I have, it's never quite good enough. So I'm going to make some kind of a system that traps it back there and forces it to load up more. But perhaps I'll have it shoot past this point, because I'm going to move this whole room that way, I believe. And I'll have it come down and do a loop around through a whole bunch of hoppers or something. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Some way of making it, the loading of the cart up there, I wouldn't say more efficient, although that would be a good term, but more along the lines of loading much faster. Because this is for the birds. Because by the time it gets done, what'll happen is just the first couple of these will stay running. All the rest, once that cart empties, it's only picking up enough out of the system here to basically fuel the first couple. So it'll empty out that whole cart just fine. And that's nothing to shake a stick at. But it still does not continuously keep that level of efficiency, I guess is the way to word it. But that's what the test ROM's for, is to go in there and play around with silliness like that. Because, my philosophy is, well, if it looks ridiculous, but it works, hide it so nobody else can see what you've done. And just let the fact that it works stand on its own, right? Sounds fair. Once it's done filling up all these hoppers, you'll get a better chance to see. That's the other thing, it shuts off. It goes back, and it only fills up from that last one. And that would be another thing. It would fill up a lot faster if it was in contact with both of these. But in order to get it to contact both of these, it screws up the ability for it to launch forward and go out again, which means I have to put the last, like this rail, I'd have to put on an angle so that it slid in, or even possibly this way. It's just awkward. But I'll figure it out when I actually decide to do it and get around to it. But as you see, I've already got a ton of glass. I'll clear out some room here. One of these, no, okay, well, you're empty. It looks like a good place for some stone to go. And then I didn't see anything. Do you know if Madge is doing his treadmill stream today? Because I don't want to run into his treadmill stream, because then I have a hard time watching his stream if I'm streaming on my own. Oh, well, I guess that answered that question. I turned and looked at chat, saw it. All right, I'm on my way over there too. And on that note, thanks for joining and have a good one until next time.